If you're a news watcher, you've probably spotted the National Guard in city streets, maybe in their camo uniforms, riding in big military vehicles, or standing at attention on busy sidewalks. It's a striking image, and it can make you wonder, why are these military folks suddenly in the middle of our cities? Are they here to take over, or is something else going on? Today, we're going to break down exactly what the National Guard does when you see them in urban areas, and why their presence is actually a lot more helpful and a lot less scary than you might think. Now, seeing the National Guard in your city can feel intense, especially if you're not used to seeing military uniforms outside of a parade or a movie. But there's a lot more to their story than just what you see on the surface. Their presence is often a sign that help is on the way, not that something is about to go wrong. So, let's dig into the real reasons behind those camo-clad figures, and what their mission truly is when they show up in our neighborhoods. Maybe you've seen breaking news coverage showing the Guard rolling into a city, and you're left scratching your head thinking, what's up with that? Are we under martial law? Is there a crisis? Or is this just a routine thing? Don't worry, we're here to clear up the confusion and give you the real story behind those headlines. It's totally normal to feel a little uneasy or even alarmed when you see images of military vehicles and soldiers in your own city. The media often focuses on the most dramatic moments, but the reality is usually much more practical and reassuring. The National Guard isn't there to take over your daily life. They're there to help restore order, provide support, and make sure everyone stays safe during tough times. Let's break down the facts so you can feel informed, not anxious, the next time you see them on the news. Let's start with the basics. What is the National Guard anyway? Think of them as America's ultimate part-time heroes. They're not full-time soldiers like those in the Army or Marines. Instead, they're regular people, your neighbors, co-workers, and friends, who have chosen to serve both their state and their country. They train hard, but most of the time, they live civilian lives just like you and me. The National Guard is unique because it's made up of people from all walks of life. You might see your local barista, your child's soccer coach, or your dentist suddenly in uniform, ready to serve. This connection to the community is what sets the Guard apart from other branches of the military. They're deeply rooted in the places they protect, which means they have a personal stake in keeping things safe and running smoothly. Each state has its own squad of everyday folks, teachers, nurses, mechanics, students, business owners, and more, who put on the uniform and train on weekends or during special drills. They balance their regular jobs and family lives with their commitment to serve. It's a unique blend of civilian and military life, and it means the Guard is made up of people who really understand the communities they protect. Imagine juggling your day job, family responsibilities, and then spending your weekends learning how to respond to emergencies, operate heavy equipment, or provide medical care in a crisis. That's the reality for thousands of Guard members across the country. Their training is rigorous, but their motivation comes from wanting to make a difference right where they live. This dual identity, civilian and soldier, gives them a special perspective and a deep sense of responsibility to their neighbors. But here's what makes the National Guard really special. They answer to both the state governor and the President of the United States. That's right, when there's a local emergency, the governor can call them up for help. But if there's a national crisis, the President can activate them too. This dual role is unique in the U.S. military system, and it means the Guard can be flexible, responding to all kinds of situations, big or small. This flexibility is crucial. For example, if there's a massive snowstorm in one state, the governor can deploy the Guard to help clear roads and rescue stranded drivers. If there's a national emergency, like a terrorist attack or a major natural disaster that affects multiple states, the President can mobilize the Guard to provide support wherever it's needed most. This system ensures that help is always close at hand, whether the problem is local or nationwide. So, what do they actually do when they're called up? The National Guard is like the Swiss Army knife of emergency response. When things go sideways, like hurricanes, wildfires, floods, tornadoes, or any big disaster, the Guard jumps in to help. They rescue people from flooded homes, deliver food and water to stranded families, clear roads blocked by fallen trees, and set up emergency shelters. Their training prepares them for just about anything Mother Nature can throw at us. But their work doesn't stop at just natural disasters. The Guard is also trained to handle man-made emergencies, like chemical spills, industrial accidents, or even cyber attacks that threaten critical infrastructure. They work closely with local and federal agencies to coordinate responses, making sure that resources are used efficiently and that help gets to where it's needed most. Their ability to adapt to different situations is one of their greatest strengths. During the COVID-19 pandemic, for example, the National Guard was everywhere, delivering vaccines, setting up testing sites, distributing medical supplies, and even helping staff hospitals when things got overwhelming. They played a crucial role in making sure communities had what they needed to stay safe and healthy. And it's not just pandemics. Anytime there's a public health emergency, the Guard is ready to step in. Their work during the pandemic highlighted just how essential they are. In some places, Guard members helped run food banks, delivered meals to people who couldn't leave their homes, and provided transportation for medical staff. They also helped set up temporary hospitals and testing centers in record time, showing just how quickly they can mobilize and make a difference. Their presence brought reassurance to communities facing uncertainty and fear. Think of them as the ultimate backup team. When local resources are stretched thin, the Guard brings in extra hands, equipment, and expertise. They're trained to adapt quickly, whether it's setting up emergency communications, providing medical care, or just lending a hand wherever it's needed most. Their versatility is what makes them so valuable in a crisis. In addition to their emergency response skills, Guard members often have specialized training in areas like engineering, logistics, and communications. This means they can build bridges, repair power lines, or set up emergency radio networks when regular services are down. Their ability to step into almost any role and get the job done is a huge asset during chaotic situations. And because they're part of the community, they know the local landscape and can respond faster than outside agencies. But what about those times when you see the National Guard in cities during protests, big public events, or emergencies? Why are they there? Well, sometimes local police and emergency services just don't have enough people to handle a really big situation. Maybe there's a huge protest, a major sporting event, or a natural disaster that's overwhelmed the city's resources. That's when the Guard gets called in, not to take over, but to support and help keep things safe and orderly. Their presence at these events is all about providing extra support, not about enforcing martial law or taking away anyone's rights. In fact, Guard members receive special training in crowd control, de-escalation, and working alongside civilian authorities. Their goal is to help maintain peace and safety, making sure that everyone's rights are respected while also protecting people and property from harm. They're there to help things run smoothly, not to intimidate or control. The Guard works alongside local police, firefighters, and emergency crews. They might help direct traffic, keep crowds calm, or provide extra security at big events. Their goal is always to support the community, not to take control. They're trained to de-escalate tense situations and to help everyone stay safe, whether it's during a peaceful protest or a chaotic emergency. Sometimes their presence alone is enough to deter trouble and reassure the public. They're also trained to respond with compassion and professionalism, understanding that their role is to serve, not to dominate. In many cases, Guard members are the first to offer a helping hand, a bottle of water, or a reassuring word to someone in distress. Their commitment to service is at the heart of everything they do. Here's a fun fact. The National Guard has been around for a really long time, since the 1600s. In fact, they started as local militias, made up of regular citizens who wanted to protect their communities. Over the centuries, they've evolved into a modern, highly trained force, but that spirit of service and community is still at the heart of what they do. And remember, most Guard members are not full-time soldiers. They're regular people with day jobs, families, and lives outside the uniform. The Guard's long history is filled with stories of ordinary people stepping up in extraordinary times. From the Revolutionary War to modern-day disasters, they've always been there when their communities needed them most. This tradition of service is passed down through generations, creating a strong sense of pride and duty among Guard members. Their legacy is one of resilience, adaptability, and unwavering commitment to the greater good. So, the next time you spot the National Guard in your city, whether they're helping after a storm, supporting a big event, or just lending a hand, remember, they're here to help, not to take over. They're your neighbors, your friends, and your community's ultimate safety net. If you want to learn more about how things work behind the scenes, hit subscribe for more quick explainers. The National Guard is a living example of what it means to serve with honor and compassion. Their willingness to step up, even when it means putting their own lives on hold, is something we can all admire. So, if you see them out and about, don't be afraid to say hello or thank them for their service. They're there for you, and for all of us, whenever we need them most.